What if everything that surrounds you, your challenges, your limitations, your entire reality, was nothing more than a mirror? A mirror reflecting not the world out there, but a hidden kingdom in here. Emmet Fox didn't just uncover a secret. He unlocked the very key that Jesus tried to hand us over 2,000 years ago. The kingdom of God is within you. This isn't some religious metaphor. It is the most powerful instruction manual humanity has ever received, yet one that the vast majority insists on ignoring. Prepare yourself, because after today, you will never see your life in the same way again. Consider this. What if every hardship you face isn't the weight of destiny, but merely a projection of what you believe, feel, and repeat within yourself? What if that feeling of scarcity, of unworthiness, of constant struggle wasn't a punishment, but simply the reflection of an invisible program running deep within your mind and heart? How many times have you wondered why it seems so difficult to change your life, no matter how hard you try? Perhaps it's because you've been searching for the answers in the wrong place, like someone who lost their keys inside their house, but insists on looking for them on the street, under a lamppost. Jesus didn't speak of a distant heaven after death. He pointed to a state of consciousness, a living, pulsating, creative field that vibrates within you right now as you listen to these words. The kingdom of God is not a location, it's a frequency. And when you tune into that frequency, your reality begins to bend to your faith, your certainty, your disciplined imagination. This is what Emmet Fox was talking about when he taught that thoughts are living forces, shaping the world you experience. This is what the law of attraction addresses when it states that you attract what you vibrate. But here is the question that must burn within you. If all this is real, why do most people continue to live in suffering, fear, and limitation? Because, silently, almost without realizing it, we have learned to deny this inner kingdom. We were trained to believe that power lies outside of us, in circumstances, in the government, in money, in other people, in chance. We were taught to beg for blessings when we already carry the inexhaustible source of all creation within ourselves. Do you see the magnitude of this inversion? Now imagine what your life would be like if you truly accessed this kingdom within you. Imagine if every one of your prayers ceased to be a desperate plea and instead became a clear command to the universe, with the certainty that it is already done. Imagine if the scenarios that now seem impossible began to shift in your favor, because you learned to align your thoughts, emotions, and faith. This is no empty promise. This is the law that has always been in effect, whether you are aware of it or not. And that is precisely why this message is so important. Because up until now, perhaps you've been content to hear pretty phrases, but today you will feel the difference between theory and experience. Today you will grasp that the ultimate revelation is also the most powerful. You are not a victim of your reality. You are its creator. And when this becomes more than a concept, when it becomes your daily practice, your entire existence reorganizes itself. Perhaps at this moment you're thinking, but I've tried to believe, I've tried to visualize, I've tried to affirm, and nothing changed. This is where the key lies. The kingdom doesn't respond to superficial attempts, but to a genuine immersion. It's not about repeating words without feeling. It's about becoming that which you wish to see reflected in the world. Just as a mirror won't return a smile until you smile first, life won't return abundance until you recognize yourself as abundant from within. It is at this very point that many give up, because they haven't learned to sustain the inner vision until it manifests. But if you persist, if you trust, if you dare to hold the image of what you desire within you, even when everything around you seems to deny it, something extraordinary happens. The invisible begins to become visible. And once you experience this, you can never go back to the old way of living. That is why I want you to allow yourself to continue with me to the end of this video. Because every part you hear will take you deeper into this revelation, and the final part is what will truly flip the switch in your consciousness. It is the most powerful revelation of all, and I promise you, Once you understand it, there will be no turning back. And since we are walking this journey together, I invite you to be part of something greater. In the first pinned comment, there is a link prepared for you, with a message that can expand your consciousness even further and accelerate this transformation process. Don't put it off, because this is the kind of decision that changes destinies. Now, before we continue, also make a simple but powerful gesture. Leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. It may seem small, but it is through this that the message reaches more people who, just like you, are ready to awaken. And when you share light, it always returns to you, multiplied. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and prepare yourself. Because what comes next may be the very piece that was missing for you to understand once and for all that the kingdom of God is not a distant promise. It is already there, inside, waiting for you to awaken it. Have you ever stopped to think why so many people live trapped in repeating patterns? People who work hard, who pray, who strive, yet always seem to end up back at the same starting point? It's not because they are unlucky, nor because the universe has forgotten them. It is because they are looking in the wrong direction. They are trying to change the mirror when what they need to change is the image they project before it. This is the first shock of awareness that Emmet Fox delivers with such clarity. He used to say, "Life is a reflection of thought." This doesn't just mean that thinking positively attracts good things. It means that the entire structure of your reality, absolutely everything that happens around you, is a direct consequence of what you carry inside. It's as if life were a movie, and the projector is inside of you. The screen is the world, but the film reel is your mind, and what you see out there is nothing more than the playback of what you nurture in here. Now ask yourself, what have you been nurturing? Could it be constant worry, the fear of lack, the feeling of not being good enough? Every thought you repeat, every emotion you allow to take root, is a command sent to the universe. And the universe, like a faithful mirror, responds without question. This is why Jesus insisted, "Be it done unto you according to your faith." Life doesn't move by what you superficially desire, but by what you truly believe and feel in your innermost being. And this is where the pain so many carry comes in, believing they have no choice, that they were born condemned to scarcity, to struggle, to limitation. It is a cruel deception because it makes us live like beggars of a kingdom that already dwells within us. Imagine someone who lives their entire life outside a magnificent house with its doors wide open, believing they cannot enter. That person suffers, begs, waits, but never takes the step to cross the threshold. This is how we are when we don't understand what the kingdom of God is within you truly means. The kingdom is not religion, not doctrine, not a vague promise for a distant future. The kingdom is the creative spark that pulses in your every thought. It is the invisible field of energy that responds to your consciousness. And when you understand this, you begin to adopt a new posture towards life. You cease to be a victim of circumstances and become the author of your own story. But perhaps you're wondering, if I have this power, why can't I change my reality yet? The answer is both simple and profound, because you haven't yet learned to sustain the inner image until it becomes more real than what your eyes can see. Most people start a process of change with enthusiasm. They visualize, pray, affirm, but at the slightest sign of difficulty, they revert to believing in the old scenario. And the universe, ever obedient, mirrors back that exact wavering. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it has sprouted. Do you see the absurdity? The seed needs time. It needs trust. It needs constant care. So it is with your creative thoughts. If you plant the seed of abundance today, but tomorrow you suffocate it with doubt, you will never see the fruit. Emmet Fox said there is no prayer more powerful than holding the vision of good amidst the chaos, because it is in that contrast that your faith is tested. Not as a test from God, but as an exercise of consciousness. When everything seems dark and you insist on holding the light within you, you discover that the world outside has no power over you. What has power is the image you hold firm in your mind. And here's something few have the courage to say. You are already creating your reality all the time, even when you think you are not. If you live complaining, you are creating more reasons to complain. If you live expecting something bad to happen, you are attracting exactly that. If you live stuck in the past, you are repeating the same experiences. There is no pause button on creation. You cannot not create. You can only choose to create consciously or continue creating on autopilot. And this is the point where everything changes. When you decide to awaken, when you choose every day, every moment, to align your thoughts, your emotions, and your imagination with what you desire to experience. And it's not about denying problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about not being attached to them, not giving them more energy than they deserve. It's looking at the pain and saying, I acknowledge you, but I am not you. I choose a different reality. Now, imagine for a moment if you applied this in practice. Imagine waking up in the morning and, instead of being swallowed by fear, consciously choosing a thought of abundance. Imagine looking at your bank account and, instead of falling into despair, closing your eyes and truly feeling the security of already having enough. Imagine entering a relationship and, instead of repeating old patterns of neediness, deciding to radiate love from the inside out, knowing that the other person merely reflects who you already are. Do you realize what this means? It means the key has always been with you. The kingdom is not outside, waiting to be conquered. It is here, now, pulsating within you, waiting for you to align with it. And this is precisely why the final revelation is so powerful. It's not enough to know, you must practice. It's not enough to hear, you must live it. The mind is like a fertile field. You can choose what to plant, but the soil always responds. If you plant fear, you reap limitations. If you plant trust, you reap miracles. And a miracle is not something supernatural. A miracle is simply the natural manifestation of an awakened consciousness. It is at this point that I want to make a special invitation. In the first pinned comment, there is a link prepared for you. There you will find something that can expand this awakening even further, helping you to sustain this inner vision and transform it into real experience. It's not theory, it's living practice. And if you feel that the time has come, click it and allow yourself this change. In the meantime, stay with me, because the most profound part is yet to come. I want you to reflect. If the world is a mirror, what exactly have you been showing it? If your life were a photograph of your mind, what would that portrait look like? The good news is that it's never too late to change the image. With every thought, you can redraw the reflection. With every emotion, you can imprint a new order on the universe. With every choice of faith, you access the kingdom within you. And when this becomes a habit, something incredible happens. You stop fighting against life and start flowing with it. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop feeling alone and realize you have always been connected to an infinite source. This is the freedom Jesus wanted us to experience. This is the power Emmet Fox tried to rekindle in us. This is the kingdom that is right there inside you, just waiting for you to awaken. Do you see how far this journey has brought you? In the beginning, it seemed like just a distant idea, perhaps even a bit abstract. The kingdom of God is within you. But now, after moving through each reflection, each image, each revealed truth, it is no longer just a beautiful phrase. It is a living reality, pulsating within you. And the great question that remains is, what will you do with it? Because it is not enough to just listen. It is not enough to just feel a momentary thrill. The real life, the one you so desire, only transforms when this knowledge ceases to be mere inspiration and becomes practice. The key is in your hands, but it only opens the door when you decide to use it. Think of how many times you believed you were alone, abandoned, with no way out. How many nights you wondered if things would ever change. How many tears shed in silence, believing your life had already been written without your permission. Now, you know, none of those pains were the end of the story. They were just reflections of what was happening inside, projections of an inner field that you, often without realizing, were feeding with fear, with doubt, with hopelessness. But if the world is a mirror, everything can change, because you only need to change the inner reflection for the outer scene to respond. This is the most liberating revelation of all. You don't need to wait for anything from the outside. You don't need to wait for the government to change, for another person to acknowledge you, for luck to smile upon you, for chance to decide. Everything is already here now, inside of you, ready to manifest when you decide to live in tune with this kingdom. And if you ask me, but how do I start? The answer is simpler than it seems. It starts the moment you choose a new thought. When instead of repeating the old story of failure, you choose to affirm a new reality. When instead of looking at lack, you decide to be grateful for what you already have and, even more, for what is already on its way. When instead of carrying the pain, you decide to take a deep breath and say, I am not this pain, I am something greater. This is true prayer, not a desperate plea, but a firm declaration that you are already part of the kingdom. A declaration that depends not on words, but on feeling, on conviction, on presence. Every time you sustain this vision within you, every time you refuse to bow to appearances and choose to trust, you are planting the seed of a different future. And the most beautiful part is that the universe always responds. Always. Perhaps not in the time your ego desires, but in the perfect time when your consciousness is ready to receive. Because life never denies. It only gives back. And when you start giving back to the universe an image of wholeness, of abundance, of love, it will inevitably materialize around you. Remember, faith is not waiting to see before you believe. Faith is believing so much, so deeply, that reality has no choice but to bow to your conviction. That's why Jesus said that if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could move mountains. Because it's not about the size of the faith, but its quality. A genuine faith, even a small one, is enough to change everything. Now I want you to close your eyes for a moment, right where you are. Take a deep breath. Imagine the life you want to live. Imagine the feeling of already being in it. See yourself smiling, see yourself free, see yourself whole. Allow yourself to feel as if it were already real, because deep down, it already is. The kingdom is there, within you, waiting for you to simply acknowledge it. And when you open your eyes, carry that vision with you. Don't let the world extinguish the flame that was lit today. Sustain it, nurture it, return to it whenever you need to. Because that flame is proof that the creative power is not outside, it is within. It always has been. Now that we have reached the end of this journey, I want to ask you for something simple but very important. Leave your like on this video and subscribe to the channel. This isn't just a gesture to support the work, it is also a way of affirming to yourself that you are committed to continuing to expand your consciousness. It is a signal you send to the universe. I choose to awaken. I choose to live differently. And don't forget, in the first pinned comment, there is a link prepared especially for you. A message that can be the next step on this path, something that will help you sustain this transformation and see the change happen before your very eyes. The kingdom of God is within you, not as a distant promise, but as a present reality. With every thought, every emotion, every choice, you either manifest it or deny it. Today, you have understood the truth. Now it is up to you to live it. The final revelation, the one that holds more power than all the others, is this. You were never at the mercy of life. You have always been its creator. And when you awaken to this, there are no limits. The mirror only reflects. The universe only returns. And you finally discover that you have always held in your hands the power to transform the invisible into reality.